Hello, all my Radiant readers. My name is Natalie Hutchings, and I'm going to take you on the journey through how to fill out this graphic organizer. Woo! This graphic organizer is called the Reader's Notes for a Long Walk to Water. So I just want to point stuff out to you that is going to be important while you're filling it out. The first thing I want to point out is that this graphic organizer is broken down into 5 columns. So let's explore what each column is asking us to do. Column 1 is my favorite column because it's the easiest column. Every time you find a piece of evidence and you're going to add it to this graphic organizer, we're asking that you tell us what page number and chapter it came from. Column 2 and 3 are all about Naya's story. So every time we come across a piece of evidence that we would like to add about Naya, we're going to add it in either column 2 or column 3. The difference between 2 and 3 is column 2 is all about our first impression, our first thoughts, our first things that we find out about Naya. Now, you can't have more than one first. So once we have one thing in this column, we're going to move everything to the next column if we find out new information. So as we continue to find stuff about Naya's story, any new ideas or new things that we learn about her, we're going to place it in this column, column 3. Now, column 4 and 5 are the same idea as column 2 and 3, except this time we're talking about Salva. Salva story is followed every chapter by Naya's story. So as you open up and you start reading a chapter, it's always going to start with Naya, and hers is like in an orangish color, and then Salva's story follows. So again, column 4 and 5 are about Salva's story. Column 4 is the first ideas. Again, only one first idea for each character, one for Naya, one for Salva. And then after that, anything new we find out about this person in the book, we're going to add to column 5. Now, what I would like to do is to read a piece of the text with you and fill out a little bit of this graphic organizer together. So as I read, please follow along. And I got to get close to the screen. Sorry, guys. Going was easy. Going, the big plastic container held only air. Tall for her 11 years, Naya could switch the handle from one hand to the other, swinging the container by her side, or cradling it in both arms. She could even drag it behind her, bumping it against the ground and raising up tiny clouds of dust with each step. There was little weight going. There was only heat, the sun already baking the air even though it was long before noon. It would take her half the morning if she didn't stop on the way. Heat, time, and thorns. Okay, so my first thought about this piece of text is that she's going to get water. And you're like, Miss Hutchings, how do you know she's going to get water? The text doesn't say she's going to get water, but I did something. I read the title, and the title is A Long Walk to Water. So we can infer that Naya is actually going to get water. The next thing that I want to point out is this chunk of the text is about Naya's difficult journey to get to the water. So I'm going to pull out evidence that proves that the gist that I feel that this chunk of the text is about is relevant. So the first thing that I found was switch. If she's switching the water jug from one hand to the next, we can infer that it's heavy or cumbersome. Same thing with dragging it behind her. It's not a very comfortable situation. Little weight going, which kind of infers that it's heavy on the way back. Heat, sun already baking down on the air. So here we can say that the conditions, the weather conditions aren't optimal either. It's not some cool fall day that she's going to go do this through. It takes half the morning. We're talking like 3 hours to get this done. Heat, time, and thorns. So that just kind of sets up the stage that this trek is not easy. So this comes from chapter 1, page 1. And I kind of put what I was saying about it being difficult in my own words. Naya has the responsibility to get water. The task of getting water is grueling. It takes her half the morning and is difficult conditions. So once I have this done, I know I'm not going to add anything else in these squares because it's not a new idea. This is my first impression. It's not about Salva. So 4 and 5 are out. And then this column is going to be out for the rest of the time because I cannot have any more new impressions. Good luck, guys.